Welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. Thanks for watching the show. I'm your host, Coach Tripp. On my podcast today, my friend Tommy Hopper, along for Goode and Faithful Servant on Monday nights as we tackle Kerry Goode's book. Kerry Goode is a former teammate of mine. Great player, even better person. Became a player in the NFL. Got hurt at Alabama, actually. Had 297 yards in 2.5 quarters.
Yeah,
in
I was at that game.
You were at that game.
Yeah.
Opening game of the 1984 season. Wow, almost 300 yards. Tore his ACL. And back then, you couldn't really fix him as well. Played a few years in the NFL, but Kerry also coached in the NFL. Was close with Al Miller, a strength coach. But, we deep dive into his book. His book is like broken up into 195 days or chapters. And Kerry, we send out a couple of questions, go through a couple chapters, and we ask Kerry the questions and break down his book. It's all about faith, family, and football. Here on Coach's Corner, we try to inspire and educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, and the body to act. All right, coming up on episode 13 of Goode and Faithful Servant, brought to you by Ronnie's Car Wash. We're going to tackle day 37, okay? And this chapter is titled, Does Your Compass Work Correctly? Kerry, you start the chapter by saying, quote, the mighty Titanic sank because of the delays in spotting the iceberg, and its compass was off a little bit. When crude language or violence is part of our norm, it brings anger to the surface of our thoughts, making it harder to live our lives with self-control. Have you ever watched a movie and it brought tears to your eyes? Maybe you watched a film that left you to be inspired to do or be something great. The same is true for watching violence, crime shows, movies, video games. When we watch evil, we are allowing worthless things to occupy our minds and our hearts. The most important thing is to understand how much of this can distort our picture of reality. It will mess with your compass. And know this, your iceberg is not far away. Wow. Kerry don't mince words, does he?
No.
Neither does God.
No. It's A and B.
All right. Here's our first question for Kerry. Kerry, last week we talked about the importance of taking a stand and not straddling the fence. Okay. This week we talk about falling over to the dark side of the fence, being influenced by what we watch. Do we ask ourselves, is this helpful or hurtful to watch? Is that the question we should ask, Kerry?
Hey, Paul, thanks for having me. It's always great to be here. The question is, does what we watch hurt or help us? What we watch can have both positive and negative impacts on us, depending on the content and the amount of time we spend consuming it. When we watch educational programs, documentaries, and instructional videos, we expand our knowledge, learn new skills, and gain valuable insight on various subjects. When we take in uplifting content, such as inspirational stories, motivational speeches, and positive role models, encourages personal growth and inspire us to achieve our goals. However, when we consume violence, graphic, or negative things, it desensitizes us, increase anxiety, and contribute to our pessimistic worldview. Also, when we have constant exposure to unrealistic portrayals of life and idealized images on social media can contribute to feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem, and mental health issues. Yes, what we watch does affect us, but when we are aligning our choices with biblical principles, we can protect our hearts, grow spiritually, and honor God in all we do.
Wow. He touches on a lot of subjects, doesn't he?
Very wide amount of subjects there, and it encompasses everything.
Everything. Educational, when you watch positive stuff, educational, uplifting, inspirational documentaries, you learn to grow and achieve your goals. Simple. When we watch negative content, he says, it contributes to our pessimistic views on society and increases our anxiety. I've learned that. I was with, my ex would watch crime shows. It's just negative stuff all the time. You got to align your choices with the biblical principles. Yes. And then he says we can protect our hearts.
Yeah, very important. Very important.
Yeah. It's strong. Yeah. We can protect our hearts.
And one thing that I will say that actually Kerry's pastor, Mr. and Ms. Goode's pastor from when I lived with him back in 90, mentioned to me one time I was going through some stuff, and he basically told me that as a man thinketh, so is he.
Mhm.
And it comes directly out of Proverbs, and basically garbage in, garbage out, or positive in, positive out. So you really have to be focused on what you're watching and putting in your mind, because what's going to go in your mind is going to come out in your spirit.
Absolutely. Good point, Tommy. You did live with the Goods. And I just want to reiterate, Kerry has ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. And so he cannot even talk anymore. So he would thank God for AI technology. And we've been praying and thinking about this and hoping for this for a year, Tommy. We've been wanting, Kerry and I have been wanting to do this show. And now his thoughts come on the computer, and the computer can spit it out in his voice. That's right, in Kerry's own voice. So enjoy. Let's tackle the chapter, or should I say day number 38. This one's titled, To Whom Much is Given, Much is Required. We've heard that, right?
Yes.
All right. So Luke 12:48. Now this is all Kerry's book. I'm just asking the questions, okay? All these texts are coming from Kerry's words in his book. Okay, Luke 12:48 starts your chapter, Kerry. From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded. And from the one who has been entrusted much, much more will be asked. Generally, when we think of things being given, gifts, we tend to think of presents and possessions or financial blessings, things that belong to us, things that we can hoard, break, forget about, waste, sell, or lose. But there are much more valuable things than these physical gifts, which normally have a shelf life. However, we are all given salvation, spiritual gifts, genetic gifts, talents, testimonials, family, forgiveness, love, and more to share with others. What gifts have you been entrusted with that you're not serious about, or you're hiding, or you're wasting, or hoarding? Luke 12:48 specifically states the word demand, which means it's not an option. Don't hide it, divide it. Wow, Kerry, what do you think?
My man, since my diagnosis, I pray every day that I leave it all on the field. I pray that I do not waste or hide anything that can help someone in a similar situation. That's why I share my ALS journey. I do not know who needs to hear that things will get better, but I hope that sharing my story will light the way for someone else. Hopefully, my transparency will provide a little encouragement to those who are going through the most difficult time of their life. I just want to let them know that you are not alone.
Wow. Hoping for the light, the way for someone else. Right? That's why Kerry shares his story, help others, let them know that they're not alone. And he firmly believes, I truly believe too, he's helped probably more people when he got sick than before he was sick.
Yeah. And you never know who's watching you and paying attention. So, I mean, he's kind of a torchbearer for this in modern times, because
right. It's kind of a fairly young disease, right?
Yeah, very much so. And we just don't know that much about it. So, what Kerry's going through in his responses and reactions are giving hope for people that might have to incur this horrible disease later on, that don't give up, that God has a plan for our lives in the midst of the pain and agony and turmoil. So he's really being a torchbearer for that. So he's been a godsend and a blessing for, those of us that have perfect health. There's no reason for us to get down. We just have to keep pushing forward.
Well said, Tommy. Well said, my friend. Kerry, a lot of people don't believe they have talents to share. How can we share our hidden talents?
Sharing our hidden talents can be a fulfilling way to contribute to our communities, build connections, and make a positive impact. You can offer to mentor individuals who are interested in learning your skills. You can also offer your skills at local community centers. Many nonprofits are in need of people with specialized skills. Sharing your knowledge can be incredibly rewarding and help others grow. Your expertise can educate and inspire others. Remember, sharing your talents not only benefits others, but also allows you to grow and find greater fulfillment. Embrace the chance to let your light shine, and you'll be amazed at the impact you can make. By embracing the principle of don't hide it, divide it, we can create a more connected, supportive, and enriched community. Sharing not only benefits others, but also brings fulfillment and purpose to our own lives.
Wow. He's unbelievable.
That's incredible. Yeah.
Offer to be a mentor yourself, folks. Be a big brother, be a big sister. Your expertise shared with others is rewarding. Helping others helps you grow. When you're in a bad place, that's the most important time for you to pick up your cross and help somebody else, because that actually helps you. When you're in a bad spot, in a dark spot, go help somebody else. Okay. And that's more rewarding than helping yourself, which you will in the road. This creates a more connective, supportive, and enriched community, he says. Purpose to our lives. And everybody needs purpose in their lives. I've known people actually no purpose. They get up in the morning, they got no purpose for the day or their lives. Right. You got to have a purpose.
Yeah. I've got a mentor that speaks to me every morning, and he sends me a message every Saturday. And I can tell you, just being mentored by him, I like to share that on my social media, my Facebook, and it kind of touches other people too. So through me, I'm a vessel for some of him mentoring me, and maybe it touches other people's lives because some of the messages have told me, Tommy, thanks for sharing that. So it's not necessarily my original, document, but it does help other people. And there's some things I've been through in my life that people are just like, wow, and so we can all be that vessel of mentoring if we just allow ourselves to open up and share our experience. We never know how we're going to impact somebody.
Right. You do not know. It's a ripple effect. Okay. It goes on and on and on if you pass it on to somebody else. Wow. It's awesome. Thanks, Kerry. Love you, brother. Glad you're feeling a little bit better and got a new ventilator, for crying out loud. Peace and love to Anthony Smiley's family as he passed away last week. Our thoughts are with Smiles forever, brother. Love you. Thanks for watching the show. We're going to have more sports coming up during the week. Have a great sports. Tommy, thanks for being with me.
You're welcome. Thanks for the invite. Take care, Kerry.
Yeah, take care, Kerry. Watch these messages. Without this, just wouldn't be possible. So long, everybody.
For 30 years, you have seen the orange Beck signs all over the Gulf Coast listing a property for sale or lease. Beck Partners is your trusted advisor in commercial real estate, property management, commercial and personal insurance. Senior Vice President David Valletto has been with Beck Partners since 1989. Take advantage of his wealth of knowledge by calling him today at 982-7352. 982-7352. Extensive experience in all aspects of leasing, sales, management, and site selection will make sure your expectations are exceeded.
My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm the manager and owner of Cordova Lanes, and we help keep your mind out of the gutter. Cordova Lanes is part of the community of Pensacola. Being here for 43 years, we've entertained more people than any other bowling center in the city. We self-fund for a living. Cordova Lanes is located at 2111 Airport Boulevard in Pensacola, behind Cordova Mall. Come on out and see us at Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Thank you.
Arbitrium Consulting for all your fencing, landscaping, pressure washing, tree trimming needs. Call 850-483-0350 for your free estimates. Serving Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, Destin, Perdido, Gulf Shores, Foley, and the entire Gulf Coast. Arbitrium Consulting is owner-operated, fully licensed and insured. Call today, 850-483-0350, the official landscaper of Coach's Corner.
Hey, Bama fans, this is Will Moore, president of the Pensacola Bama Club. You can find us at PensacolaBamaClub.com. We are your official alumni chapter in the Pensacola and surrounding areas. Membership is available to all alumni and all Bama fans, so come see us at one of our many events throughout the year. Our Bama football watch parties are the next best thing to being in Bryant-Denny Stadium. We even serve authentic stadium hot dogs. Membership, event, and contact information will be found on our website at PensacolaBamaClub.com. Roll Tide.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on your home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Will Rentschler is your go-to agent in Pensacola, Florida for the service you deserve at the price that you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Will Rentschler has you covered. Call 850-433-4678 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Legal disclaimer, individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.